Years ago, in 1982, General Motors truck experts began an awesome task to design, engineer, research, test, and prove a replacement for the best-selling vehicle in the GM line, the Chevy full-size pickup. Since the program began, GM has committed thousands of people and $1.3 billion to the task. The goal? To build a pickup truck that will be the best in its class, that will dominate the pickup market of the late 1980s and into the 1990s, that will exceed customer expectations and outlast anything the competition has to offer. The challenge to those who directed the program was enormous, and the people who met that challenge are an impressively dedicated team. People like Mike Juris, Chief Engineer of the new full-size pickup, and Bob Tilley, Manager of Production Engineering Assembly, Ken Hammer, responsible for coordinating design and engineering efforts, and Don Wood, the program's chief designer. We asked them to provide us with some background, how and why this new truck came to be.
Well, first of all, we want to regain market leadership for Chevrolet in a most important segment of the market. And secondly, we want to provide a product for the late 1980s and 1990s that's going to meet the market demands. And there was a real challenge to the design and engineering and manufacturing people to achieve this and start with the design.
It's true. There were quite a number of things that we wanted to improve and offer the customer. Along with that was improvements in the cab area, entry and exit, vision out of the cab, things like that. Again, too, we didn't want to sacrifice the function of the vehicle, the fact that it's got to do the work of a truck. It's got to be a pickup truck. It's got to do all the things that today's truck does and do it even better. Along with that, there were many engineering innovations that were factored into the vehicle. Mike Juris can address some of those.
The truck that we're replacing is really a 15-year-old product. And being a 15-year-old product, it was designed in 1969, so it represents 1969 technology. One of the things that we thought was very important in this program was to add new technology to the full-size product line. When most people think about technology, they think about computer screens. They think about instrument panels that light up and change colors. We weren't looking for that. We were looking for things like our electronic heater, vent, and air conditioning system, where you push a button and something happens to change the climate to benefit the customer. So we wanted to retain customer features while adding new technology. Bob, I think you can probably address some of the technological gains in the manufacturing area.
That's right, Mac. We in the manufacturing end of the business, we're not satisfied with the quality level of the existing CK truck. We had a 15-year-old product, we had a 15-year-old process, and we had 15-year-old tools. This new product allowed us to take a giant step forward. We have a new automated body shop with robots and vision. We made a significant investment in a new paint system for the new base coat, clear coat system. All this new technology we know will enhance the quality of our vehicle.
The investment in manufacturing facilities alone represents millions of dollars. When the stakes are that high, you want to be sure you're right.
The design, engineering, and manufacturing process alone won't be successful unless you establish some checkpoints along the way. Our market research groups established a couple of product clinics for us, as you remember. The first was back in February of 1983, and we took the product to Dallas, which is a major pickup market, and we clinicked it, and we had some very good feedback. Things that we found out was that the vehicle had a soft look to it. It didn't have that tough truck macho look that the truckers are looking for. It was vulnerable. They felt that it had a high degree of damageability in terms of the way the tail lamps were wrapped around and the headlamps. And so we took that information back to the drawing board in Don's studio, and we made some changes. And then we went up a second time to Denver, another major market for pickups, and we clinicked the product again. And the changes that we made were very successful. Remember that, Don?
Yeah, it's true. If anything, the clinics taught us that we've really got two markets out there that we kind of go after. The fact that there are a lot of passenger car buyers that are now getting into trucks and using them as second automobiles. Some people even buy a truck as their mainline vehicle. But at the same time, we can't forget the commercial end of it, which is about, at that time, about half of our market. So we needed to get back and reevaluate the design, and we went through some changes in the slope of the hood, redesigned the fenders. You mentioned the headlamp area, getting a more substantial bumper that offered better protection there. The taillights, we had those right down to the top of the rear bumper, so they were very susceptible to damage, so we raised those up, and that's pretty much the way it stayed on the final vehicle. As a result of all that, we had to further get into qualifying the design in the wind tunnel to get a final drag figure so we know where our fuel averaging will go, and that got into your area, Mike, too, of further testing engineering-wise,
Oh, absolutely. You know, we had to have the appearance to get the fuel economy, but not only did we have to have the appearance, we had to have a truck that worked as a truck. And one of the things that we did early in the program was we actually went out and measured how customers use trucks out in the field. We did it with both two-wheel drive models and four-wheel drive models. In each case, we had 20 trucks monitored, measuring various loads that were input into the truck, then taking these loads and actually duplicating this loading pattern at our proving ground so that the new truck did everything that the old truck is doing currently. And in fact, we don't like to publicize it, but we actually test our trucks on an overloaded basis because we know customers overload trucks. All you have to do is drive down the highway and see a driver with a load of gravel and the back end dragging on the ground, or a big load of hay. You can appreciate the fact that those trucks have to work, and we test them so that they do work.
Design, test, redesign, retest, again and again, until the design is proven, in the clinics, in the laboratories, on the road. What makes this new Chevy full-size pickup stand out from the rest is attention to detail. From consumer clinics to vehicle testing to the thousands of hours that went into designing a single component, it's the attention to 1,000 details that makes the new Chevy full-size pickup stand out from the rest.
We strove very hard in the initial design of the vehicle to address the human accommodations requirements in this particular program. Things like the molded seat designs, which allowed us to set the man, the driver, right exactly where he's supposed to be at design, which is difficult to do in the way the vehicles are being built today. The fact that we have better forward vision in the vehicle, better entry and exit that you mentioned, more legroom, the total parameters of the cab of the vehicle has been improved, and I think that that led as a major requirement in this program.
We had an engineer assigned on a full-time basis to make sure that the engine compartment looked clean and neat. And you know, quality in an engine compartment is not just looking neat, because if it looks good, chances are it's going to perform well.
That's true.
And the performance is what we were after. The serviceability, how somebody was able to change their spark plugs, how they could access the oil fill tube, how they could access the dipstick, things like that. And we did actually have your people over telling us how to lay out components so that when you open the hood, it looks good. Somebody thinks, hey, that's a well-engineered engine compartment.
It looks organized. Yeah.
And it represents the rest of the truck. You know, the truck is very well done, but it's well done in a subtle kind of a way. There's nothing in the truck that you can say, that is going to make it a dynamite truck that's going to blow everything else off the face of the earth. There are 1,000 little things that make that truck a better truck than what our competition has on the market today.